Hello from ACUHO. My name is Spencer Gazy. I'll be leading today's webinar. I'm going to give us just a few moments for attendees to get logged in. Right, hello everyone. My name is Spencer Gazy. I'm here with ACUHO and I will be leading today's webinar. This is really a webinar based toward either candidates that are currently in the ACUHO Housing Internship Program or people who are considering joining the program would like an inside look at what they can expect out of the internship program. Some items we'll cover today is kind of the look and feel in the program itself, what to be looking at when you're examining job postings and considering what's the best fit for you for that internship in 2020. You can see a few menu items on your Zoom menu as we are in this chat. There should be the ability for you to post questions in the question column. So please, at any point during our session today, enter a question in, and I will answer that in real time as we go through this. And we'll also have time at the end to go through some Q&A after we cover our topics. So let's get started. So first of all, ACUHO interns are typically undergraduate or graduate students that are serving on college campuses. For this period, we'll be looking at somewhere in the time frame of May 2020 to July and August of 2020. We'll refer to that as summer over the course of our webinar, but we are mindful that that is not the summer months in all institutions and all nations. So be mindful of that as we talk about internships. This is really an opportunity for you to have an experience on another college campus outside of your own, perhaps in a cohort of other interns, or perhaps you are the only intern that's working on that college campus for the summer. These are key things to think about in your pursuits. Typically, those people who are in internship programs are either considering going into higher education as a future career path, or they're currently in a higher ed program, and this is part of their education, is to have an internship experience and to receive credit for that. But we certainly do have a large number of both undergraduates and graduates who are in this program. It's very close to 50-50. Typically, your internship is going to be 2 to 3 months or 8 to 12 weeks. And there are other entities out there that are doing internship programs in the summer, just like orientation, Greek life, rec services, etc. What really makes our internship program special is that it's the housing internship program with the emphasis on housing. Every internship that's posted should be providing housing for the student that is going through the internship. If we take a look by the numbers, we can see that our numbers have been pretty consistent over time. These are numbers that are really exclusive to this webinar to hear about these things. These are not numbers that we share publicly on our website, but for you today, I'm checking out our webinar. We want you to kind of have an idea of what that candidate pool looks like as you're considering being a candidate or you currently are a candidate in our internship program. So you can see over the past 3 years, we've had mid to high 800s in terms of candidate numbers, and we typically will have as many or more openings than we have candidates. So it is a very strong candidate pool, or it's a candidate market, I should say, in terms of your ability to find an internship, to be a little bit pickier and to find an experience that works well for you, but to also be patient for the process, knowing there are opportunities for you. So please don't feel don't feel too panicked if you do not have an internship solidified within the first day of offers being out there. There's so many internships to potentially be a part of in 2020. So over the past 3 years, we've also had a 60% or higher placement rate. If you're wondering, well, how can we only have a 60% or greater placement rate when we have so many openings compared to candidates? Really, the benefit is we have many candidates who are also in other internship programs and considering what they can be doing in those programs, and they may choose that, or they may choose an opportunity on their home campus and not pursue a housing internship program opportunity, or they may just choose another summer position, summer job. So we know that everyone who enters into the internship program is not necessarily, their final destination may not be an internship, but we have many options and many opportunities for all those involved. So you're in a good spot already. So if we look at the compensation of what the housing internships typically offer, they're required to offer room and board. So you should have a place to stay while you're on campus, and really asking the questions of, well, what does that housing look like? Is that a shared double with another intern? Is that an apartment suite with a full kitchenette all to yourself? Is that a shared apartment with other interns? What does that look like? That's a really key component you'll want to ask yourself. But there should be some sort of housing component that comes along with being a candidate and being an intern on a college campus next summer through this program. When we look at the average hours per week that an internship consists of, when we look across the board at all the job descriptions that are posted out there by host sites, using last year's data, the average hours per week of an internship was 37 hours a week, and the average summer stipend, so that stipend that went along with the housing provided, the average summer stipend was $3,200, whether that was in stipend chunks of payment or if that was through an hourly salary or an hourly pay. The average was $3,200 for the summer. So you can kind of look at, when you're baselining what your compensation you might be offered in an internship, those are key numbers for you to have available to you. If we take a look at the timeline and where we are at, so the program opened on October 3rd, and right now we are in the research and review period. And really you as candidates have until January 8th to be really doing your homework and examining positions that are out there, and really reviewing what's the best fit for you, what interests you. So right now you can see all of the internship postings, and that number grows every day. And as you see when you search, our positions are dated when they were posted or last updated, so you're able to track when a new internship is posted, and if that is of interest to you, you can be checking daily, every other day, to see what is for you in this pool. So right now we have over 500 openings in our internship program, and we expect that number to grow still by another 300 over the course of the next month as institutions continue to get approval and post their positions. At the same time, our candidate pool is right about 500, and we expect that to grow by another 300 to 400 as we go from now until January. There is no deadline on when you have to enter by. We recommend the earlier you're in the program, the more access you have to openings and the more ability you have to review. But there is no deadline per se of when your internship posting must be up. So just be mindful of that. If you have friends, colleagues, people you know that are thinking about the program, there's no rush or pressure to be in it immediately. It's just they have the best benefit the longer they're in it. So right now you can be looking at profiles. Our hosts can be looking at candidate profiles. And candidates can be reviewing internship postings. Those postings you can actually apply for right now. As you see an internship posting, and then you click on it to see the in-depth information about it. On that page that's just for that internship, you'll see in the top right corner envelope icon. I'm sorry, you'll see an application button. and you'll be able to just hit apply now and then submit your application for that internship. Now, those internship applications you may be submitting, they're not visible to hosts right now. They do not become visible until January 8th. So you are able to submit applications at your pace. So if you have time over a winter break or a break from school or a weekend, you're able to submit those applications when it works for you. And all those applications will come into the hosts at the same time. So whether you applied in November or you apply on January 3rd, the host will receive the application at the same time. You can also continue to update your personal posting, as can the host sites. So if you have added experiences you'd like to put on your resume, or you've been to a resume workshop and there's tweaks that you've made, you can go back into your profile, make those edits, upload a new resume, items like that. On January 8th, the messaging on our internship page opens up. You'll see the envelope icon on the postings. They're considering that envelope icon is your way to message the host site. They will be able to do the same to you when they look at your profile. They hit the envelope icon and send you a message. Those applications that you've submitted will become visible to hosts. You may be receiving messages from hosts like, hey, we saw your profile. We'd love to have you interview for our position. And then we'll also start to see interviews being scheduled. So the interviews begin on January 16th. Really, we have that week there that the first wave of interviews can be scheduled. We have over a month of time for interviews to be scheduled. So really, we expect many of those processes to be rolling from January 16th to January 19th. So as we look at that contact begins on January 8th, the interviews begin on January 16th. While that's occurring, more positions may still be getting posted. Candidates may be reaching out to hosts to set up interviews even after January 16th has started. And candidates may be reaching out to hosts reaching out to candidates, vice versa, trying to be in communication. At no point, and let me be very clear about this, at no point should any job offers be made prior to February 19th. If you are finding that a host site is pressuring you to accept a job or offering you a position before that date, they are in violation of our housing internship program. So all offers should be made starting at 1 p.m. Eastern time on February 19th. That's a very hard and fast deadline. And that is a deadline that we share with NODA. NODA also does an internship program, and we partner with them to make sure that our timelines line up so that candidates have the most fair opportunity to consider opportunities that are offered to them. So again, those offers are made on February 19th. You as a candidate, if you receive an offer, you have 24 hours to accept or decline that offer. An official offer must come through our internship program website. So they may call you and verbally offer you. They may send you an email and offer you through writing in an email, but the only official offer that is binding is the one offered and accepted through the internship program webpage. So you could verbally over the phone accept a position, but that does not make the institution be locked into your candidacy despite you having that verbal agreement. And the only way for you to have a locked-in agreement for an internship is to have it be accepted on our internship page. And also, we'll have a travel stipend process we'll talk about in a moment. You're only eligible for a travel stipend if your position is officially accepted in our internship web portal. So you may get an offer right away. It may not be for you. You may be brave and turn that down. You may say yes because it's the first offer you received. I encourage you to be patient in the process. If you don't receive an offer on the first day, that's okay. An employer can only offer as many offers as they have positions. So if they only have one opening, they're going to offer to someone. They cannot offer to someone else until the first person turns them down. And many candidates will receive multiple offers. Well, you can tell that will bog down the system a bit in the beginning as candidates consider for that first 24 hours, what offer they want to accept. And then the ones they turn down will then restart the offer setting. So be mindful of that. Please feel like you're finding the best fit for an internship, not that you are just accepting the first one offered to you, even if it's not a good fit for you. The travel stipend process is open March 10th to the 24th. So we have a very small pool of money from the ACUHO Foundation to assist in defraying the costs of those interns that are traveling great distances or are of need in our internship program. So to be really clear, there will be zero interns that have their entire travel covered for them through our process. That's not how this will work. But we will have travel covered, a partial assistance offered to those who are accepted for the travel stipend. In the past, we've only been able to fund about 10% of people's requests. So as you are receiving an internship offer and you're considering how can you get back and forth from that site to the site and then back from the site, be mindful, is that a cost that the internship is offering to help cover? Is that one that you are willing to help cover? I would really encourage you to not rely solely on the travel stipend process to help fund your travel to and from the site. On our ACUHO webpage, you can actually hear from quite a few stories from folks who were interns in the 2019 cycle. So I really encourage you to check out those stories from the field and hear firsthand of the experiences that interns have had in the past. I'll open that up for us just so we can take a look. So if you're on our ACUHO web page and you go to the Professional Network tab, Housing Internship Program, you'll see the side menu. Information for candidates, information for hosts, all these items. Under the Internship Spotlight, you'll find all these stories of people who were in internships last summer, the experience that they had. So you can see where their home campus is, you can see the host site that they were at, and each one of these has a larger story that goes along with it. So as you read on, you can click on someone who has an interesting internship site that you want to learn more about, and you can see a much longer write-up of their experience on those college campuses, what they did, where they went. So in a year, I hope this is many of you who are on this webinar today, as I put out a request to hear from your experiences, that I hope you share those with us and we can share that to the next generation of interns. If we think to the future and you're receiving an offer, there's a number of items that I would encourage you to consider when you're getting an internship offer. So first of all, is really the type of work that you'll be doing. Is it work that is similar to what you do already in it? Is it work that's going to open you up to new experiences? It's going to challenge you in a different way. Is it an experience that's really interesting to you? Another great question to ask is, what sort of training will you receive? In every internship posting, there should be a list, should be a brief blurb of what type of training they provide and who the supervisor is. Those are great topics to dive into. Will you be receiving some really thorough training? Will you have an experienced supervisor? Will you have a mentor to the supervisor? What does that look like? So those are really important questions for you to ask in this process. Another important question to ask is, how many interns are going to be at the site? Will you be in a cohort of other interns? Will you be all by yourself? In either of those experiences can be really impactful and important to your future development. So think about what works best for you. What type of room accommodations will you be receiving? Is there a meal plan associated with your internship? Is that a meal stipend? Is that meals in a dining hall? What does that look like? What is the stipend or the pay for the summer? This is very important. What's the timeline? So is it starting May 15th and going to August 15th? Is it May 30th and going to July 10th? Does that time frame that they're looking to have an intern work for what you need to get back for? Are you getting back for staff training? Are you getting back for another internship or a job? What does that look like for you? So think about that timeline. Be very, open and upfront in this process early on. I'm telling you this from stories of past interns who found that the schedule they signed up for in terms of timeline on when they could get back for training wasn't correct once they spoke with their department that they were coming back to in August. So be mindful of that timeline. Talk with your home campus and also your host site about how that can work best. And then does your host site that you're accepting an internship with offer travel support? And if so, how does that work? Is that a reimbursement? Is that a payment up front? How can they help support you in your travel to and from the site? In the housing internship portal, you'll see your ability to build a profile. You'll be able to see positions, search through positions. You'll set up interviews. You'll field your offers in that portal. And really, we want to prep you for your experience. So let's take a moment to look through that portal a bit. So when you are in the portal currently, you should be able to browse internships. And through your internships, you'll be able to go through and in a posting, see how many openings there are. And in the future, I may have a few more icons than you do, just as an administrator of the program. But you should be able to see the last updated. So when was that item? When was that position last updated, and when was it created? So you can sort by. Up here in the sort by, you can sort by date posted. So I just sorted by date posted. And you can start to see how long ago or how recently they were posted. I'll go with last edited. An organization. So that is an opportunity to take a dive deeper. You will see a star icon next to postings. That is how you favorite a position, and you can track by favorites. So let's say I favorited Alma College, and I favorited Arizona State, and I want to filter by my stars, so filter by my favorites, and I can click that button, and the two previous positions that I have favorited will now show up. So once I go through, I can always use that star icon to help me identify items I've highlighted in the past. The other thing I can tell you is when you favorite a position, and if an internship host favorites your candidacy, you'll receive something called a double match. And basically, it'll be a star with a heart. And it'll be a fun icon. You'll be able to definitely see it pretty visibly. And that will help you identify when a school is, favoriting you and you're favoriting them. And that may show a really great mutual connection and a potential host site that you will fit in well with in the future. So be mindful of that when you see a double match pop up. When we get into January, you will have a calendar that you can start to build into here. Here we don't have anything scheduled, so we're not able to see it'll look like this though. It'll be a block of time where you'll have interviews on your calendar that you'll have to accept. We do have a question, this is great. We do have a question, do double matches occur starting in January 8th or when? Great question. They will become visible to you on January 8th. So they may already exist in the system, but starting on January 8th, if a double match exists, it will become both visible to you and the host site. So excellent question. We also have the advanced search for your internships. And for example, you can search by so many criteria. Let's say you were looking at a specific salary and you wanted it to be you're looking at salaries from $3,000 to $5,000, and that was the stipend that you really were hopeful for. So you can put that in, hit the magnifying glass to search for it, and you will find all the positions that have that. Actually, there looks like there's many that fall into that range. If you want to get rid of that criteria, you can hit the X, and let's say you wanted to be a large in a large cohort, perhaps. Let's see what we can do here. Let's see. Let's go by state. So it has any, so it can have any of these states. So you love that ACUHO is headquartered in Columbus, Ohio, so you were hoping that you could be at a school in Ohio, or Indiana's next door, and the beautiful state of Michigan is also next to us. So you want to be in one of those 3 states. So you click in your criteria. This will bring up any posting that has any of these 3 items in it, and you can find that there's 22 current institutions that fall in that, and then you can look through those postings and see if there's any fits for you. So that's just another way that you can do that advanced search to connect. Okay. Great. Can you search by country too? Let's take a look. So we'll get rid of this. Let's go by country. So has any, and actually if we want to be really sneaky here, we can go United States. And if we want to have none, so we want to say doesn't have the United States in it, okay? And these will increase in number as we get closer to the start. But currently you can see that we have 2 non-US internships posted. We've got one in Australia. So we could take a look. We have one in Singapore, and these are both historic internship sites that host year after year. So let's say you look at a specific internship site. Here's where you see that apply button. Here's where you have the favorite icon and the messaging that will open up in the future. And then as you read through a posting, you'll see your title, you'll see who's managing the internship site. That's very important to know that information. Their position highlights, what's the selling point, what's the best part about their internship site. And then you'll be able to click on their position description. And that position description will give you the in-depth breakdown of the position. Again, then you can see your remuneration and benefits of being in the position. So for example, they do cover some of your travel, and they do have a salary along with your hours per week that you're working, and they've got the contact information for the person overseeing the position. So that's just a really good example of how you can break down and look more deeply into a position. Ooh, another great question. Can we do an advanced search of my favorites? Boy, I like a challenge. Let's see if we can. So if I favorite Alma, which I believe is in Michigan, and I favorite Arizona State, let's see if I filter. Let's go. Actually, we'll go advanced search. Add criteria. You might have a tough one there. I believe that you're going to put your favorites. What I would offer you to do is create a list. So let's say we were creating that list where we were finding any school in Michigan. And let's say you favorited all of these. Use your advanced search to help create your favorite list, but don't use your favorite list to try to create an advanced search, if that makes sense. Let's see, what else do I have here? Great. I love an active webinar, so thank you to those of you who are submitting questions to the question and answer tab. You can feel free to do that as we continue. Other items I want to make sure that I am bringing up to you all. Under your profile, let's see, under your profile, so your candidate statement. We get a number of questions about this. This is really the list that you'll see of all the people in the program. This is what the host sites can see as they scan through postings. So really take some time to write something engaging. You are blank. You are an aspiring professional that wants to work in a specific field area. This is your common interest you have. What do you want to get out of your experience? And then your profile, you should be answering all these key questions. Your preferred dates of internship, so when does that fit in your schedule best? And then some of those functional areas that interest you, and attach a resume. When you apply for a position, you'll have an opportunity to also put together a cover letter for a specific posting. So for example, Alma College is getting a lot of love from me today. So if we go to the apply piece, you have the ability to have your application statement. This is really your opportunity to talk about why this position. Not about you as the candidate, that was your candidate statement. This application statement is why this internship. So why is this what you're interested in working in? Now, this can resemble your cover letter if you so wish. You have the ability on this page to attach a cover letter. If your cover letter is the exact same wording as your application statement, okay, some people do that. Your cover letter could also be a general cover letter about you and then what you're looking for in internship sites. And your application statement could be a specific breakdown of why you like this specific internship. I would say somewhere through this application, however you choose to do it on your end, I'd highly encourage you be very clear with the host site what interests you about the position, that you are not just applying for the sake of applying, but you're applying because this internship site really has blank that you're looking for. So, and I can understand that it can be a more time-consuming process to create these application statements and cover letters, but what's helpful in the process is that by doing it this way, we're able to get more genuine interest toward internships rather than a number of candidates that are just applying for massive amounts of internships that they may not be interested in. Because at the end of the day, you're going to receive interviews for internships that you've applied for. And if you apply for 100 and you receive 50 interviews, that is a lot of time to be doing online interviews in the hopes of finding one position. So really you need to find ways that you can trim that down and be more genuine and more narrowed in your search for what you're looking for in an internship site. I had a question. Do you recommend posting references or letters of support in the cover letter or in the other documents upload? I actually, depending on how your resume looks, this is a me personally thing, not necessarily a best practice, but I have my 3 references usually on the end of my resume, just so it's there. That's totally up to you. You can also wait until they request references. I have formatted the bottom of my resume, so I turned into 3 columns. So I've got space in the bottom for 1, 2, and 3 across the bottom for my 3 references. So I'm not taking up a ton of space on the resume, but just there as a point of contact. One way you can consider doing it. Again, if you don't wish to put references in your application materials, no one is requesting that you do that. So that can be something that happens later on in the process as a host site gets more serious with you if you'd like to. Or you can put it out there right away. Totally up to you. This is really one of the beautiful parts about the internship program is that it's a great opportunity for you to learn at a low risk learning opportunity for you when it comes to job searching, job negotiating, and what you're looking for when it comes to fit. We often talk in the field of higher ed on how important fit is. And if you are able to take this opportunity to take a look at many internship opportunities, at the end of the day, you want one, and finding that best fit for you, that crossroads of a position that's available for you and they're interested in you, and you in turn are very interested in the position and want that experience. And then when you're receiving the offer, how do you receive the offer, ask questions about the offer, ultimately accept or decline the offer. So these are all great experiences for you to have moving forward into being a successful professional after this is all said and done. So yay you for being a part of the program. All right, let's Let's go back to our PowerPoints. Great. So, and that does actually wrap up our portion of the candidate webinar to really give you a good feel of what it's like to be a candidate internship program, questions that you should be considering, what to look for in a position, all those items. My email address is on that page as well. So if you'd like to email me directly after this webinar, I'm happy to answer questions there. And I'm also happy to take any other questions you may have through our questions and answers tab here in the Zoom meeting. So if you have a chance right now, is a great opportunity to type in any question that you may have. I would say, one question I often get is, what is a typical internship timeline in terms of how long you're in the internship? Depending on when your schooling is out, we have a lot that start between May 15th, May 20th, and go until about July 15th, July 20th. We'll have some sites that really want people to stay in until August, and those are really very suitable for undergraduates who may be able to stay longer in the summer. Typically, graduate students have to be at their campuses earlier. So just be mindful of that as you're looking at timelines. And if you're an undergraduate that's considering internships, you have your availability is actually a big plus for you in this process. So be mindful of that, just because you may sometimes consider it harder because of your education level. Your availability is a big component that's going to lead to your success in this. Let's see. All right. Well, as I stated in the beginning, I will be recording this webinar. We'll be posting this on our internship materials. So if you have friends, neighbors, colleagues, other interested parties that may want to be a part of the internship program, you'll have that link and be able to share that with them. I highly encourage you, if you have other people who could really enjoy this program, refer them to it. It may feel like a competitive place, but it really isn't, in the sense of there's enough internships for everybody and then some. So the more the merrier, bring people in. And remember, it's not a competition between you and other people. The process, you're trying to find your best fit. And we're rooting for you. The host sites are rooting for you. Hopefully you're rooting for your other candidates that are out there. We just want great experiences that'll help build you up into the outstanding future professional you'll be. So thank you again, and have a wonderful rest of your day.